welcome to Insights That Matters.
Yeah.
Today we're really diving deep into the world of Raamdeo Agrawal,
Oh, yeah.
a true icon
Absolutely.
in the Indian stock market.
Yeah.
And to help us with this, we have a fantastic market analyst
Thank you.
who has spent years studying investment strategies, especially those that really work well in India.
Absolutely.
So if you are ready to unlock the secrets of Raamdeo Agrawal's success, this deep dive is for you.
Yeah.
We're going beyond the headlines, digging deep into his philosophy,
Yeah.
his perspective on India's financial future,
Right.
and most importantly, his advice for investors like you.
Yeah.
So,
What's truly fascinating about him is how his journey began.
okay.
It all started with a simple spark of curiosity.
Okay.
Picture this. A young man studying to be a chartered accountant in Mumbai,
Yeah.
and he finds himself captivated by the conversations he overhears in those accounting departments.
Okay.
It was the energy surrounding the stock market,
Mm-hmm.
the potential for growth, that really drew him in.
So he's hearing about the stock market while studying accounting.
Right.
It makes sense, kind of a natural fit.
Yeah.
But what was it about those conversations that really piqued his interest?
It wasn't just the numbers, it was the stories.
Okay.
He saw firsthand how a smart investment could multiply in value,
Okay.
creating wealth that seemed almost unbelievable.
Right.
That's the whole concept of a multi-bagger,
Yeah.
where a stock grows multiple times over its initial value.
Right.
And he saw it happen right in front of him.
Yeah.
It sparked a passion in him, a passion that shaped his entire career.
This is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
His first multi-bagger magic
Uh-huh.
came early on
Okay.
with an investment in Vizia Bank
Oh, wow.
back in the early 90s.
Okay.
He bought shares at around 20 rupees each,
Mm-hmm.
and they soared 100-fold.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's the kind of story that makes you pay attention.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this wasn't just beginner's luck, right?
Yeah, not at all.
This was the foundation of his investment philosophy.
Yeah.
He always stresses the importance of identifying
Mm-hmm.
good businesses and good management.
He got it.
He doesn't go for those quick wins, those risky bets.
Right.
He looks for companies with solid foundations,
Mm-hmm.
led by people who are both capable and ethical.
Right. Right.
It's a long-term vision,
Yes.
much like his idol, Warren Buffett.
Absolutely.
The Warren Buffett influence.
Yeah.
It's clear that Agrawal's philosophy echoes Buffett's value-driven approach.
Mm-hmm.
But how does he actually put that into practice?
Okay.
How does he find these good businesses?
He doesn't just look at the balance sheets.
Yeah.
He has a framework he calls QGLP,
Okay.
which stands for quality, growth, longevity, and price.
Okay.
Each element is carefully evaluated
Yeah.
before he even thinks about investing.
So let's break down QGLP.
Okay.
We touched on quality, which is about the business and its leaders.
Mm-hmm.
What about growth? How does he know if a company has the potential to grow and succeed?
He looks for businesses that are ready for big expansion in
Oh.
terms of earnings and market share.
So it's not just about what they've done in the past.
Right.
It's about where they're heading,
Yeah.
their ability to adapt and take advantage of new trends.
Absolutely.
So it's about understanding not just where they are today, but where they're going in the future.
Exactly.
And what about longevity?
Okay.
I imagine that's linked to a company's ability to survive
Mm-hmm.
the ups and downs of the market.
Absolutely. He looks for businesses with economic moats,
Okay.
advantages that help them navigate challenges and
Yeah.
come out stronger in the long run.
Okay, so we've got quality, growth, and longevity.
Mm.
That brings us to the last piece, price.
Yes.
This is where valuation comes in, right?
Absolutely.
Even a great business is only a good investment
Uh-huh.
if the price is right. He looks for undervalued opportunities, stocks that are trading for less than they're actually worth, creating a margin of safety.
Yes.
It's like finding hidden gems,
Yeah.
companies with huge potential that the market might be missing.
Exactly.
It's about finding value where others don't see it.
Yes.
But let's change gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about market cycles.
Okay.
He's seen it all.
Uh-huh.
The booms and busts, the incredible highs,
Yeah.
and the, well, let's just say challenging lows of the Indian stock market.
Absolutely.
How does he handle all that turbulence?
Okay.
How does he manage risk when things get a little shaky?
That's where his discipline really shines.
Okay.
He avoids speculation and those tempting quick profits.
Okay.
He focuses on building a strong portfolio
Yeah.
that can weather any storm.
So it's that long-term mindset again.
Right.
Not letting those short-term ups and downs derail the bigger plan.
Absolutely.
He stresses staying grounded and sticking to his principles,
Yep.
especially when the market seems irrational.
Right.
It's about having the courage to stay the course,
Yeah,
even when everyone else is panicking.
exactly.
This leads us to something really interesting about him.
Okay.
His outlook on India's growth story.
Yes.
He's incredibly optimistic
Yeah.
about the Indian economy and the stock market.
Uh-huh.
He's even gone as far as calling it a golden era for India.
Mm-hmm.
What's driving this optimism?
He sees India as a nation full of potential,
Okay.
driven by a young population,
Yeah.
increasing urbanization, and a growing middle class.
Okay.
All of this creates a strong engine for domestic demand,
Right.
which helps cushion the impact of global economic turmoil.
So it's about building a more resilient economy,
Absolutely.
one that's not solely reliant on external factors for growth.
Exactly.
And he also emphasizes the importance of government spending.
Yes.
As tax revenue rises,
Uh-huh.
the government has more money to invest
Right.
in crucial areas like infrastructure,
Yeah.
which further boosts economic growth.
Right.
He sees this government spending as a catalyst for continued expansion.
Absolutely.
And let's not forget about the surge in retail investors in India.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The accessibility of demat accounts, which allow people to hold shares electronically,
Mm-hmm.
has exploded in India.
Right.
And systematic investment plans, or FIS-EPs,
Yes.
have gained immense popularity.
Mm-hmm.
This shows a growing awareness and engagement with the stock market,
Yeah.
which is adding to its momentum. So it's not just about a few big players anymore.
Right.
It's about making investing accessible to everyone.
Exactly.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
This is especially clear with the rise of digital technology in finance.
Absolutely.
He's talked about how fintech companies
Mm-hmm.
and the widespread adoption of digital payment platforms
Mm-hmm.
are changing India's investment landscape.
Yeah.
It's like we're seeing a shift
Yeah.
towards a more tech-driven, more inclusive financial system. He's particularly optimistic about the financial services sector,
Yes.
seeing it as a major beneficiary of this digital transformation.
Right.
It seems like there's a perfect storm brewing
Uh-huh.
with favorable economic policies, positive demographic trends,
Right.
and rapid technological advancement,
Absolutely.
all contributing to a compelling narrative for India's future.
Exactly.
And his vision goes beyond just listed companies.
Mm-hmm.
He's also venturing into the world of unlisted companies, seeing opportunities in businesses that haven't gone public yet.
Right.
It's about finding those future stars,
Yes.
the companies poised to disrupt the market. But this seems like a good place to pause
Okay.
and let our listeners take it all in.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot
Absolutely.
from his early career to his unique investment philosophy
Right.
and his perspective on India's economic landscape.
Yes.
We'll delve deeper into his specific market insights
Okay.
and what he sees on the horizon in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds good. We were just talking about Mr. Agrawal's optimism about India's growth
Yeah.
and how that shapes his investment decisions. It's interesting how he keeps this positive outlook,
Yeah.
even with all the uncertainty in the global economy.
He definitely doesn't ignore the challenges.
Right.
We're talking about things like slowdowns around the world, unstable oil prices,
Yeah.
and the possibility of big investors pulling out of emerging markets like India.
Right.
Those are things that could worry even the most experienced investor.
Absolutely.
What's fascinating is that he acknowledges these potential problems,
Mm-hmm.
but he still sees India as being in a really strong position.
Yeah.
It's not about pretending the risks aren't there.
Right.
It's about understanding the forces that are working in India's favor. So this raises a big question.
Okay.
What makes him so confident that India can handle these challenges and come out stronger?
He points to a few key factors that are creating a unique opportunity for India. One of the most important is the strength of domestic demand.
Right. We talked about the growing middle class
Yes.
and rising incomes, but it goes deeper than that.
It does.
This strong internal demand acts as a buffer against those external shocks we were just discussing.
Exactly. Like having a powerful engine driving the economy from within.
So it's about resilience,
Yeah.
having a diverse economy that's not solely dependent on what's happening outside of India.
Exactly.
And then there's the role of government spending.
Yeah.
As the government collects more taxes, they have more resources
Right.
to invest in essential areas like infrastructure.
Absolutely.
And this, in turn, stimulates further economic growth.
Ah,
He sees this government spending as a key driver for sustained growth.
exactly.
He's also talked about how India's inflation rate is relatively low
Yeah.
compared to many developed economies. This gives the central bank more room to maneuver. In terms of managing monetary policy, they can support growth without causing inflation to spiral out of control.
Right. It's a delicate balance.
Yeah.
But India seems to be handling it well.
So it's almost like India has this special set of circumstances working in its favor. But let's get more specific.
Yep.
He's not just talking about broad economic trends.
Right.
He's identified specific sectors that he sees as particularly promising. Which sectors are catching his eye?
He's been very vocal about his optimism for the financial services sector.
Okay, we talked about the digital revolution happening in finance.
Yeah.
But his view goes beyond that. What else is he seeing in that sector that makes him so bullish?
He believes that as India's economy keeps growing,
Yeah.
financial services will become even more important.
Okay.
People will need more sophisticated financial products and services to manage their wealth.
Makes sense.
It's a natural progression.
As incomes rise, the demand for financial services grows along with it. And he's specifically highlighted the strong performance of the banking sector.
Yeah.
Especially private banks. As a trend, he expects to continue.
Uh-huh.
They've really benefited from India's growth story.
They have.
And then there's his interest in unlisted companies,
Yes.
which we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
His involvement with companies like AU Small Finance Bank before they went public really says a lot about his approach.
It does.
He's always looking for those future stars.
Yeah.
The companies with the potential to shake things up and redefine their industries.
Right.
And he sees this happening in the unlisted space,
Yeah.
especially in technology and consumer-focused businesses. So it's about identifying companies that are riding the wave of India's growth, but might not be on everyone's radar yet.
Exactly. It's about recognizing potential before it becomes mainstream.
And this ties back to the G in his QGLP framework. Growth,
Absolutely.
he's not just looking for established players.
Right.
He's looking for companies with strong growth potential, those that can significantly increase their earnings over time.
Yeah.
So it's not just about how big a company is today. It's about its ability to expand in the future, to adapt to new trends and capitalize on opportunities.
And this brings us to a crucial part of his investment strategy.
Okay.
Patience.
Yeah.
He's not interested in those quick profits that disappear quickly.
Right.
He's willing to hold on to his investments for a long time,
Yeah.
even decades, allowing the power of compounding to really work its magic.
He understands that real wealth takes time to build,
It does.
and it takes discipline. He's truly in it for the long haul.
Exactly.
He's often quoted as saying that activity in the portfolio is not the friend of wealth creation,
Right.
meaning that buying and selling too much can actually hurt your returns in the long run.
It's about letting your investments grow,
Yeah.
giving them time to flourish.
It's that classic Warren Buffett strategy.
Exactly.
Find great companies and let them do their thing.
Yeah. And this long-term perspective requires discipline and the ability to not get caught up
Okay.
in the day-to-day ups and downs of the market.
It's about tuning out the noise,
Yes.
resisting the urge to react impulsively,
Uh-huh.
and focusing on the fundamentals.
Exactly.
And this brings us back to a piece of advice he often gives,
Okay.
the importance of reading and continuous learning.
He really emphasizes that.
We talk about how he compares reading to exercise for your investment muscles. It's about constantly expanding your knowledge so you can make informed decisions.
And he lives by this principle.
Yeah.
He's known for being a voracious reader himself.
He walks the walk.
He does.
He always stresses the importance of being curious, seeking out new information,
Yeah.
and learning from the experiences of others. So it's not just about analyzing financial statements.
Right.
It's about broadening your horizons, understanding the world around you, and how it's constantly changing. It's about connecting the dots
Yeah.
between seemingly unrelated pieces of information.
Exactly. Having that broader perspective is crucial for
Yeah.
making smart investment decisions.
This feels like a good point to pause
Yeah, okay.
and let our listeners digest all the insights we've discussed. We've explored Mr. Agrawal's approach to managing risk, his unwavering belief in India's growth story,
Right.
and his focus on sectors like financial services. We've also talked about his emphasis on patience and continuous learning as essential elements of successful investing.
Absolutely. We've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
And in the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
we'll take a look at some of the companies he actually invests in
Oh, wow.
to see how his philosophy plays out in practice.
Yeah.
We'll also discuss some of his most valuable advice for investors like you.
So we've spent the last 2 parts really digging into Raamdeo Agrawal's investment philosophy, his optimistic view on India, and the sectors that have really caught his attention. Now let's get down to the specifics, the actual stocks that are in his portfolio.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to see how these big-time investors actually put their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, it's where the rubber meets the road.
Right.
One of the most striking things about his portfolio is his focus on a few key investments.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in spreading himself too thin.
Right.
Instead, he picks a select few companies that he truly believes in.
It's about doing your research, really understanding the companies,
Yeah.
and then going all in on the ideas that make the most sense to you.
Right. He's been really open about what he invests in, sharing his thoughts on different platforms.
Yeah.
One of his most well-known investments is in Motilal Oswal Financial Services.
Oh, interesting.
His own company.
So he's essentially betting on his own creation.
Exactly. The business he's carefully built over the years.
It shows a lot of confidence in the company's future.
It's a powerful statement.
Is.
Putting his money where his belief is.
It's also a good example because Motilal Oswal Financial Services has changed so much over time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It started as a brokerage firm, but now it does asset management, investment banking, even housing finance. It's become this big financial services company.
A real powerhouse.
And this ties into what we were talking about before, about adapting to the changing market.
Exactly. He's not afraid to try new things, to grab opportunities that fit his vision.
So besides his own company,
Okay.
are there any other notable companies in his portfolio?
Well, he's known to invest in companies that benefit from India's growing consumer market. For example, he's got money in consumer goods, automobiles, and building materials.
So tapping into those sectors that are poised to grow.
Exactly.
As disposable incomes rise and the middle class expands.
And what's interesting is that he doesn't just focus on the big, well-known companies.
Okay.
He also invests in smaller companies.
Right.
Ones that might not be household names yet.
It's about finding those hidden gems.
Yeah.
The companies with the potential for massive growth.
And this all goes back to the G in his QGLP framework, growth. He's looking for companies on a fast growth track.
Yeah.
Companies that can rapidly increase their earnings.
So it's not just about where a company is today.
Right.
It's about its potential for future growth. Its ability to grab those opportunities and ride the wave.
And that brings us back to another crucial part of his strategy.
Okay.
Patience.
Yeah.
He's not after those quick, fleeting profits.
He's in it for the long haul.
Exactly.
He's willing to hold on to his investments for years, even decades.
Allowing the magic of compounding to work.
He knows that real wealth building takes time.
It's
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Exactly.
And it takes discipline. He's famous for saying, activity in the portfolio is not the friend of wealth creation.
Right. He's basically warning against too much buying and selling.
Okay.
Which can actually hurt your returns over time.
It's about letting your investments mature.
Yeah.
Giving them time to grow. That classic Warren Buffett approach. Find great companies and give them the space to thrive.
And this long-term perspective, it requires discipline. You have to be able to step back from those day-to-day market fluctuations.
Tuning out all the noise.
Exactly.
And not reacting impulsively. Keeping your eyes on the fundamentals.
That's it.
And that brings us back to a piece of advice he often shares.
Right.
The importance of reading and continuous learning.
He really walks the walk when it comes to that.
Yeah, we talked about how he compares reading to exercise.
Right.
It strengthens those investment muscles. It's all about expanding your knowledge.
Yeah.
So you can make smart decisions.
He's a true believer in that.
So it's more than just looking at financial statements.
It is.
It's about broadening your horizons, understanding the world around you, and how it's always changing. It's about connecting the dots between things that might seem unrelated and developing that big picture perspective.
And as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Raamdeo Agrawal, there's one big takeaway that really sums up his entire approach.
What is it?
It's about having a clear investment philosophy,
Okay.
a set of principles that guide your decisions. It's not about following the crowd
Yeah.
or chasing the latest trends. It's about developing a system for evaluating investments,
Okay.
a way to cut through the noise and focus on what really matters.
It's about having that conviction,
Yeah.
that long-term vision that keeps you on track.
Right.
Even when the market throws you a curveball. It's about resilience,
Absolutely.
adaptability, and a commitment to always learning.
He's a real trailblazer.
He is.
And we've only scratched the surface of his insights today.
We have. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Raamdeo Agrawal.
It's been a pleasure.
We encourage you to keep exploring, dig deeper into investing,
Absolutely.
and develop your own investment philosophy to guide you on your journey to building wealth. Remember, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And as always, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Insights That Matters for more deep dives into the world of finance and investing. We'll see you next time.